guys, Editing Joy here. Listen, I just wanted to give you guys a quick trigger warning. This video may deal with loss of family members. This video may deal with essay, unaliving, self-unaliving. So if that bothers you at any point, please, we totally understand. Click away. You do not have to watch. Thanks in advance if you do. And if you don't, we totally understand. So, on to the video.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Joy and Jazz Review,
where we take things in our opinions and review them so that you guys know what you're in for. Mostly. So, before we get started, we wanted to welcome all of our new subscribers.
Welcome. And thank all of our returning subscribers and the people who have been with us since the beginning.
Yes, as you guys can see, we've got a new camera, so it's more crisp. So we worked on the lighting, now we're working on the video, next we'll work on the audio, and then they'll be perfect.
Well,
no.
Mediocre at best.
We're working on it, you guys. So, yeah, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and give us a comment what you think about our new clarity. So, what are we doing today?
Today we are reviewing our first book of the month. This month we're doing Dean Koontz and we're reviewing Soul Survivor.
Soul Survivor. Soul Survivor was actually recently made into a movie, and I haven't seen the movie yet.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
I would like to.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too, but you can't, it's not streaming anywhere. You have to buy it on DVD, so
we'll get it together.
We'll get there. So, what kind of story would you say this is?
So, I believe that it's supernatural fiction.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. I agree. It does fall into the realm of paranormal towards the end, not so much during the middle or the beginning, but yeah, supernatural would be a good word for it. I agree. Supernatural. Carry on our wayward son.
Yeah. Me and baby.
That's right. That's right. And I'll just take the moose. All right.
So, what do you feel was the main conflict of the story?
For me, the main conflict was Joe Carpenter was trying to find out what happened during a plane crash that killed his wife and daughters. And there were inconsistencies that he found out a year later, and he's trying to figure out why those inconsistencies are there. What do you think?
Yes. You summed it up really good. I mean, yeah, that was the main conflict. He's trying, well, also in the story, he gets confronted by somebody saying that they were on the plane, and he keeps trying to find her, and every time he finds somebody who meets them, they die.
Right.
Mysteriously.
Yeah, crazily. And I'm just like, like not just mysteriously, like this is not a missing person. They died tragically.
Yes.
Like damn Dean. So yeah, it's really the death scenes are just like, you're just like like it's crazy. What is the setting of the story?
So, it's set in, where did we?
Starts in California.
Right.
And then Colorado.
I should have known. I want to go to Colorado so bad.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway, yeah, the majority of the story is set in California. Yeah.
California
Knows how to party.
Yeah.
And then Joe goes to Colorado to see where the plane actually crashed at. And so It's not just a crash though. Like
Yeah.
this was,
Like,
yeah, like nose first into the ground, like
huge explosion.
yeah,
all that.
just like vaporized everything. It was crazy how just terminal this flight was. Like I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So,
How does the setting of the story affect the plot?
honestly and truly, I don't think the setting of the story affects the plot. I feel like this story could have been set anywhere and the plot would have moved forward. Other than the fact that he likes to go to the beach. I mean, other than that, this story could have been set anywhere.
Right.
Do you agree? Like
I do.
the
Yeah.
plane could have crashed anywhere. The Joe could have lived anywhere from, Nevada to New York to wherever, and it would have been the same story.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think the setting affects the plot at all.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't feel like it did.
It wasn't like anything that stood out majorly that I was just like, yeah, that screams California.
Right.
And it should have been set there.
Right, exactly. Exactly. In fact, can we talk about the comical bad guys in Hawaiian shirts?
Come back.
I'm just like, you want to look like a tourist so that you blend in, so you're wearing these bright ass like Hawaiian shirts and a 13-year-old picked you out like
He was just like, what else were they wearing? He was like, I don't know, Hawaiian shirts, that's it.
yeah,
all I
Hawaiian
got.
shirts, that's all I got. So yeah, that was crazy to me. But it's just, the story could have been set anywhere and it still would have been just as good. So it's not that taking it away from California would take something away from the book. The book would have been just as good if you set it anywhere. So yeah. What is the inciting incident, the incident that makes everything move forward?
So, it's definitely Joe seeing Rose in the graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
And then him seeing the guys in the Hawaiian shirts just run and chase after her and shoot at her.
Right.
And he's just like, what? What's going on?
So, and then all of a sudden Joe turns into a ninja and like takes out one of these big strapping guys from the back of this van.
Yeah.
And you're just like, where did that come from? Like, this man is waiting for death. Like, he does not have, he doesn't want to kill himself, but he doesn't want to live anymore. And then all of a sudden he jerks this guy out of this van and beats the snot out of him unconscious. And this is just not any guy. This is a black ops guy.
Yeah.
You know? And Rose at the cemetery, why does that make it the inciting incident?
Because it was just weird that he saw her just taking pictures of his family's graves. He was like, who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, why are you here?
yeah. And then she's like, by the way, I was on the plane, and takes off running. And I'm just like,
That's it.
that was a mic drop. Like,
She's like, got blessed.
so yeah, I was just like, wow. But yeah, it was really, that's what set Joe on the path that he was on. So yeah, yeah, I agree.
So how would you describe the main characters?
So in this particular book, there are two main characters. You have Joe Carpenter, who is broken. This man is broken. He's got nothing to live for. He does not look for the next day. It just kind of happens. his whole life is just over. His family is dead. Everything that defined him is gone.
Right.
You know? And then you've got Rose. And Rose is a astrophysicist, microbiologist. Like, she's like a brilliant woman or whatever. She's brilliant, right?
She is, yeah.
And she has an attack of conscience that changes her life path, that makes it so that she's trying to help people. And I really think that Rose is in all of us. Like, we are all capable of being Rose. Does that make sense?
Right.
But we are all capable of being Joe. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like we're just capable of being those people. So you can relate.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think?
You described them like to a T. That's exactly how they were.
I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So
I'm just like, yep, Joe is very average Joe, and then you got Rose. She's a sister.
yes. But they describe her as like being African American with Asian features and gray eyes with hair that's black and feathered.
Yeah.
Like, so she's got to be like a mix,
Like me.
like you and like me. Do the characters feel real to you?
Okay, so I think Joe, with his grief and all that, yes. But, like, Rose also, yes. But some of the minor characters, no.
Yeah, the minor characters are strictly fiction. But here's the thing about Joe. Like, Joe's grief and everything feels real, right?
Yeah.
But his Jackie Chan moves don't feel real. Like, he's a reporter for a newspaper.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like I said, he's kicking the shit out of this black ops dude. And you're just like, what?
You do research,
That's
sir.
right. That's right. You're a nerd.
Where people learn how to throw hands.
So yeah, I agree. They do feel real. Some of their traits don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would you describe the minor characters?
So the minor characters are, let's see, we've got Rose's family that are minor characters. We've got the NTSB lady, Barbara, she's a minor character. And then you've got Nina and the SR-128 or something like that, who is a human being, by the way, that they grew in a lab.
Test tube babies.
Yeah, Nina is also a test tube baby. And God, I hate that. That is just so, I really do. I detest that. Do you know that the first test tube baby was born in 1978 and her name was Elizabeth Joy? So for the longest time when I was in elementary school, people thought I was the test tube baby.
Oh, yeah, no.
So yeah, I hate that. And they used to call me test tube baby. My trauma aside, the minor characters, I love Rose's family. I love how they are just willing to lay down their lives to protect what she is doing.
Right.
You know, I love that. I loved Barbara.
She was super helpful.
Yeah, Barbara is the NTSB investigator, and after about 6 months after the crash, she retires suddenly because there's a whole transcript of the black box, and the pilot is like, this is fun. whee! And he's literally pushing the plane down into the ground and killing all these people. And he's killing all these people, but he doesn't realize it. Like, it's not him. It's SR-128 or whatever.
Right.
And he's able to project into people's bodies and make them do things, which is an awful superpower, you guys. That's an awful superpower. I would hate having that
You lose your free will.
Yeah. I would hate anybody who had that superpower. I'd be like, no, Janet, I'm not cleaning the dishes. You bitch. So yeah, but then you have Nina, whose ability is to heal things from, like, not from death, but from the brink of death. She can heal anything. But she also has the ability to show people what happens after death, which is the power that they wanted to stop. They wanted to kill her for. Yeah. It sucks.
That does. You were just born with this ability, and they're just like, nope.
Like, you weren't just born with the ability. You were literally crafted
right
with this ability.
It reminds me of the Fourth Wing, because
Yeah.
they get their signets, and somebody had the signet to read people's thoughts, and he's just like, y'all are so loud, like, stop, and he's like, you think about blah 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 blah, and you think about blah 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 blah, and then the teacher comes up and just snaps his neck. Because it's, I don't know, it's too powerful of a signet.
Got it. Just, if you guys are reading The Fourth Wing.
Sorry.
Spoiler. What do you think about the villain?
The corporation?
Yeah.
I mean, like, they were meh.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't really, like, they were just, like, blame it on big corporation.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a one-person deal.
Right. It was not like Big Pharma. It was like Big Pharma, and you never see the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even with SR-128, you never saw him either. But yeah, the villain was not tangible.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you felt it. Like, you were always wondering when they were coming. So, I always wanted, like, maybe them to, like, break down, but they never broke down. Like, the ending.
It's just,
yeah. Yeah.
So, who do you think is telling the story?
Okay, so Joe is telling the story. He tells the story through the whole book. Joe is an amazing character. Just the range of his pain. Like, even in the end, he's not happy.
Yeah.
You know? He's still full of rage and he's still full of hate. But he's still doing the right thing. So, yeah, Joe is telling the story. What did I think? I think some of the delusion kind of hurt my heart. Some of his delusion on whether or not his daughter had lived in the plane crash.
Also his panic and anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
He would, like, imagine holding his daughter's hands, but it wasn't his hands, it was his wife's hands.
Yeah.
While the plane was going down. That was just, wow.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine, like, I don't fly. I hate just the feeling. I don't fly. I couldn't imagine living through the grief of losing somebody in a plane crash. Just the constant thoughts of what they went through in those last moments. It hurts my heart. So I couldn't, like, I can empathize with them or sympathize. I can sympathize with them.
Right.
You know? So yeah. Let's see. How do you feel we should feel about what's happening?
I don't know, like, there was a lot in this book.
There was a lot.
There was a lot of, like, kind of useless information.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, like, you gotta fill the story. I get it.
Yeah.
But I wanted more action. And when the action was happening, I was like, what's gonna happen next?
Right.
But it wasn't, like, enough.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it was a lot of moving about. It was a lot of travel to the next scene. And then the next scene was this big. And then the travel was this big. So, like, I do feel like, yeah, you're right. I feel like you're right. There just wasn't enough action. There was just a lot of build up to. So there was a lot of build up to the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, like, the story encompassed, like, the whole thing was good.
Right.
But it was just, like, a lot
Yeah.
of words.
It's a lot of words. I like that. Let's see.
How do you think the characters struggle as a result of their decisions?
So, with Rose, let's talk about Rose first. Her decision to do the right thing. Her decision to do the right thing was beautiful, but her struggle was that she had to stay in hiding. She had to protect Nina. She had to include all of her friends and family. Like, she gave up her life and her life's dream in order to change the world, right?
Right.
How do you think Joe did?
So, it's just a lot on, like, your mental. Like, I think it was too much for him.
It was a lot for him.
And if it ended, like, and he, like, did commit suicide, I kind of would understand.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. Sorry.
Yeah, trigger warning. If he had unalived himself, it would have been understandable. So,
He just went through a lot.
He
That's
did.
a lot for him, and I'm sure that Nina would
Yeah.
be okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people, like, protecting her.
Right.
And then you got the cult.
But they were like a good cult.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bad cult. And I really admired Dean Koontz for that. Like, he took the cult mentality and he made it a good thing. I
They were
was just
spreading
like,
the word.
that's right. And I was like, how? Most people hear the word cult and they're like, but he was like, yeah, we're a cult. And you're like, okay. Right on. Right on. What do you think about the characters' choices?
I think that their choices were, like, understandable for, like, Rose, especially with her conscience and stuff, trying to get Nina away because it was the right thing to do, and her trying to tell the world about it.
Yeah.
And then Joe with his trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. Their choices led them down the correct path.
Right.
I feel like you're right. I feel like their choices were not even their choices. Like, I feel like their choices was like predestined. You see what I'm saying? Like,
It was just the right thing to do.
it was like the mother-in-law in the beginning who was like, tomorrow is the day where you find your new purpose. Like, she knew. You know, love the mother-in-law, by the way. Love the mother-in-law. You only get to hear from her one time. But I loved her character. Like, she wasn't angry at Joe. She wasn't angry. You know, she was just
Sweet.
strength and sweet. Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing. So, yeah.
So, what's your star rating out of 5?
I would give this one a 4.8. This one really did just pull the emotion out of you. This one had a way of just yanking every chord and every, like, you have the loss of a child, the loss of a spouse, you know, the possibility that somebody is alive that you thought dead for a year. You know what I mean? The possibility that, you know, things are gonna be different. You know, it just really ran the gambit of emotions in this book. So yeah, I would give it a 4.8. What about you?
I think I'd give it a 3.5.
3.5?
Only because of all the useless information. But it was a good story.
It was a good story. Yeah. It was just a lot of, like, hopping around.
Yeah. I was just like, we're here. We're here. We're there. We're over there.
I mean, did we really need to know about the cockroach races?
Oh, yeah. He's just like, dude, I had money on that.
Like, did we have to know about the cockroach races? Like,
And then the kid who, like,
yeah.
was talking the crap about women.
Yeah.
And he was just like, Joe wanted to smack the shit.
Like, Joe, you just can't go around beating people's kids. You just can't.
He was like, I'll give you $20. He's like, 30.
I was like, this kid is hard up.
He was like, when Joe was a kid, he would have jumped at the chance for $20.
But yeah, okay. 3.5, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. So, what do we got coming up?
So, next week we are moving on to The Good Guy.
There you go.
This one follows our main character, Tim.
Tim Carrier.
Tim Carrier. So he must really like the C last names. You
I
got
guess
Joe
so.
Carpenter,
Yeah.
Tim Carrier.
Yeah. And this one, you guys want to tune in for this one.
Oh yeah, I really liked it.
Jazz and I really enjoyed this one. So when we get to it, you guys want to tune in for this one. And what else do we got coming up?
Again, at the end of the month, we've got our special video.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing a movie review.
Our Thanksgiving stuff. So we've got a month full of fun-packed time for you guys. And as always, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hit that like and subscribe button. Share if you can. Leave us a comment. Tell us how we're doing. And as always, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.